Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. This is how to fill out your homestead tax exemption for Tarrant County. If you live outside of the county, please reference the YouTube page for other counties. Find the one that applies to you. There will be instructions on how to fill that one out. If you are a homeowner in Tarrant County, this is for you if you have not filled this out just yet. So as you can see here on my screen, I have the homestead tax exemption application pulled up already. This is what it looks like. This is what you will be filling out. Let's go over where to find this, how to get this pulled up. So what you're going to do is you are going to go to tad.org. So you'll put that in the search bar. And you are going to go to forms here at the top and hover over homestead exemption. Click on it. Okay, it will pull up this page. You're going to scroll down a little bit to applying for a homestead tax exemption or at the bottom of your page. I'm going to click on homestead exemption application, and that is going to pull this up. Okay, so we have now got to this part. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come back over to this page. You are going to want to either click here or click back. So I'm going to click on that right there, that little emblem, and I am going to use one of my properties for reference here. Okay, so I found my property right at my address. You just put your information in, you click on yours. We're going to come back over here. Okay. You are going to fill out very easy your name. If there's someone else that occupies the property, their name, the address, city, state, zip code. Pretty simple. Okay. Now you're going to come over here to your account number. We're going to go back over here, and right here, this number at the very top is going to be your account number. Copy it, paste it over here. Class code. We are going to go down to the property data section right underneath the map here. State code is going to be the portion that you're going to put in right here in your class code. Okay. You can put your daytime phone number and your email address here. All good. Okay. Here it says checkbox to request a change to the above mailing address or new mailing address. You are not going to check that box. Okay. Unless you haven't changed your mailing address yet. Okay, legal description, okay, and street address. You are going to come right here as your legal description, copy, paste. After that, you're just going to put your street address. Again, very simple. Deed filing information, date, volume, page, or instrument number. We are going to go down to the instrument number right here under all this information, and you are going to put copy, paste this over here. And if you want to as well, you can copy and you can paste this date as well. Okay. Considering that none of my clients are manufactured home, but if it is a manufactured home, this is where you would put in this information right here. Step 2, marital status. Pretty simple. If you're married, check married. If you're single, check single. If you own a property with your dad, or your mom or your cousin, or with, just somebody else that you're not involved with, you would click other. And in that regard, you would put a different probably percentage in what your ownership status is. Guys, if you're married or single, it's going to be 100% ownership interest. Okay. Make that clear. Step 3, owner information. Are you filing a late application? If you had moved into your property before 2021, you would be clicking yes. I would have you reach out to the Tarrant County Appraisal District to ensure that you are filling this out appropriately. If you moved in 2021 or after, we're going to click no. And for which you are applying for, the tax year in which you are applying for, you are going to put the year that you purchased the property. Okay. So, and I'm sorry, I actually said that wrong. The following year after you purchased the property, that is what you were going to put. So if you bought your house 2021, it's going to be 2022. Okay. If it's 2022, it's going to be 2023. Okay. That's the year that you're going to put here. Do you own and live in the property for which you are seeking the homestead tax exemption? If your answer to this question is no, you shouldn't be filling this out, period. Okay. Otherwise, it should always be yes. Okay. On what day did you start occupying this property as your principal residence? Guys, if you had a leaseback involved, you can reference back to that lease back on the contract and say, okay, I remember that we had 2 weeks or we had 30 days. You can get with me and we can try to decipher that. Realistically, if you put this date right here in which the deed was filed as when you took ownership, you can put that, right? Realistically, they're just trying to make sure that you didn't buy the house, start renting it, and then live there, right? So don't be concerned if there was a lull in when you actually moved into the property versus when you took possession of the property. As long as it's not a very extended period of time, it's going to be fine. You'll say, provide the complete location address of your previous residence. Okay. So, I mean, if you live somewhere else, right, before, you're just going to put where you lived before. Pretty easy. Do you own other residential property in Texas? If you do, yes. If you don't, no. And if you do, you're just going to put the addresses of which the properties you own. Okay. Are you claiming homestead exemption on any other property? You should be clicking no here if you're going through and filing this homestead tax exemption. Okay. Heir property, if the applicant identified on the deed or other recorded instrument is an heir, and you click yes if you are, but for a lot of you, this is just going to be no. Okay. Or realistically, if you're not an heir, you can leave it blank. Cooperative housing, this is going to really come into play if it's a part of a company that owns the property, considering that there is no company interest for any of my people personally, you're going to be clicking no here. Okay. Is any portion of the property for which you are claiming the residence for homestead exemption income producing? So if you're renting out a room, or if you are Airbnb-ing, the property at times, you would either, you could click yes. A lot of you, it's probably going to be no. Okay. And if you are, and you want to talk about how to figure out the percentage, we can talk about that as well. Number of acres. Okay. You are going to come over here and you are going to find right here, land acres. You're going to take that number. So that is just for your information. It's on property data. Land acres, you're going to copy and you're going to paste it right there. Okay. Now we are getting down to where it says, I am an active duty. And let me go ahead and say, most of you are not going to check any of these boxes. But if you're an active duty United States military armed service or spouse of somebody, right, you are going to check this box here, at which point you're going to need your identification card and a copy of a utility bill to ensure that that is an extra exemption that you could basically get on top of this homestead exemption. Okay. If you hold a driver's license with this code for transportation code, guys, this is basically if you are, you work for the government and, it's a confidentiality kind of thing, which you'll see down here. There's a confidentiality program as well. This one pertains more to federal judges or a DA or, just somebody with a high ranking position that, probably isn't going to have this information be public record for them. If you are a resident of a facility that relates to services of health, infirmity, or aging. So basically, I mean, if this is part of an assisted living program or something like that, this is where you could click this information. And then this last one, this is a different one. This is more of if you are somebody that's been a victim of domestic violence or sexual assault or something like that, to where your identity and where you're living shouldn't be public record. You would be checking that information. So again, this is for your homestead tax exemption. So coming down to step 4, you are going to check this box here. If you are 65 or older or disabled or a veteran, you can click any one of these if they pertain to you. But this, like I said, is primarily for your homestead tax exemption. So we're just going to go over that here today. Okay. So this tax limitation transfer, if you lived somewhere else before, right? You could click this one and then put in the last residence that you homesteaded. So if you had a homestead tax exemption on a previous residence, you would be clicking this and going through and filling that portion out. Okay. And then lastly, the very end here, you are going to put your name. Okay. Your name. And then you are going to put owner. Okay. Swear and affirm that everything is true and a fact. Okay. You will print this out. You will sign it, date it. Okay. You want to make sure there's filing instructions here, right? Kind of shows you exactly where you're going to be sending this off to. Make sure that your driver's license is updated with the current address. They are going to want a copy of that to be sent in with this. And if the addresses do not match, then this will not be good, basically. So want to make sure that that's already done. But if you scroll back up here to the top, this is where your return address is going to be. So you can mail this off or you can take it up there personally. And that is how you fill it out. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or email me, shoot me a message offline, and I will be happy to try to get with you. Otherwise, I hope that this helps. Let me know that you got it filed and if this was a benefit to you, and we will see you here on the next video.